Okay, so now we're going to think about another scenario for having our brain be able to think about wholes and fractions and wholes and how they kind of work together and help each other. So we're looking at 5 is equal to something plus 1. So I've just started to draw. I've got to have 5 here, right? But here's my 1 and I need to have 5 more. So I've drawn, I need to draw 5 total. So I've got 1, that's my 1, and how many more do I need to draw to have 5? Well, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So I could say 4. I need 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and if we thought of this as a fraction, we could actually probably write that as a fraction, but we're going to leave this as a whole number for now. And then right here, 5/4. So now I'm going to switch colors and we're going to draw 5/4. So now we have fourths, and I know I'm going to cut these into 4 pieces because we're working in fourths, and there's 4 of them, but I need 5/4. And so I'm going to draw another one, but this one's only going to have 1 shaded in so that I have 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. Now I have 5/4. So if I look at this, it's saying, okay, if you have 1/4, that's kind of like this. What do you have here? Well, we have 4/4, or all of them filled in, making that kind of our whole number there. Okay, now we're going to move and think of it in a little bit different way. We've got 5/4 again, but now we have 1 whole plus how many more do we need to make that 5/4? So I'm going to draw that 1 whole right here. And now I've got to have something fourths. I know we're working in fourths. If I'm needing 5/4, well, how many fourths was in this? I just drew it as a 1 whole, but can you think of in your head how, if I cut this, how many pieces would there be? Well, there's 4 is our denominator, right? So I know I have to have 4 pieces. So in my head, I'm going to kind of think, all right, I've split this one into 4 pieces. I know that there's 4 there because we're working with fourths. And so I'm automatically going to think, okay, this 1 whole already has 4 pieces. How many more pieces do I need to add with my 1 whole to this fraction piece to make 5? Well, I know I've got 4 in my head because that makes my whole, plus I need 1 more to make 5. So I need 1/4 more to add to my whole. 1 whole plus 1/4 equals 5/4. All right. So I kind of put a dot there. That's kind of weird. All right. So if you think about it, like we just had the same exact problem here. In fact, both of our pictures look almost exactly the same. The only thing different is that we broke this whole number into 4/4 up here. And in this one, we had to think of that in our brain. That's why I kind of did the dots of how many pieces does that whole have? Oh, it has 4 pieces because the denominator here is a 4. All right, so you kind of see how your mental math is starting to come together, and you can look at it in 2 ways. You can think of it as 4/4, or you can think of it as just 1 whole. And really, those are the same thing. All right, now let's look at our 5/4 down here. We are saying 5/4 is equal to what fourths? So if we drew this picture, we'd basically be drawing this picture again. Oops, I'm supposed to be using orange because I'm color coding for you. All right, so we have basically here's our 4 pieces to make. We've got to make that 5/4 there again. And it's really going to look the same in our picture as all the other ones. But now we're just renaming this. We're renaming this 5/4 to be something 1/4. Okay, well here's our 1/4, and this is basically a whole. So instead of calling this 4/4, we're just calling it 1/4. All right, so you can kind of see how we can start switch our thinking and to be thinking of wholes as 4/4 or as a whole. And as long as our numerator and our denominator are the same number, you know it's going to be a whole. All right.